Hello everyone. In this session, we will look into the formulas of coordinate compounds, how they are written, and also how we name them. Okay, so there are set of rules. So let's follow those rules. So formulas of mononuclear coordinate entities. You can see mononuclear coordinate entities. So mononuclear meaning we will have only one central atom. Okay, so it contains a single central metal atom, and rules for writing the formula is simple. First rule, the central atom is listed first. So here are some of the examples. You can see cobalt here is the central atom. Zn here is the central atom. Aluminium, cobalt, nickel are the central atom respectively. Then the ligands are listed then in alphabetical order. So you can see here it is ammonia, then agua that is water, okay, then chloride. So they are always listed in alphabetical order. Okay. The placement of ligand in the first list does not depend on its charge. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it is neutral or negatively charged. So it what matters is the alphabetical order. Next, for polydendate ligand, okay, they are also listed alphabetically. Polydendate ligand means, for example, here you can see, okay, this is your oxalato, okay, so C2O4 thrice. So this is basically a didendate ligand. Same way En, that is your ethane 1,2-diamine, that is also your didendate ligand. So polydendate ligand, they are also listed alphabetically. In case of abbreviated ligand you can see is this one twice. Okay, En is the abbreviation of ethane 1,2-diamine. So the first letter of the abbreviation is used to determine the position of the ligand in alphabetical order. For example, here ethane is there, so first letter of the abbreviation is E. Then the formula of the entire coordination entity, whether charged or not, is enclosed in square brackets. So you can see this is your central metal. Then you have listed all your ligands in their alphabetical order, and then you put them inside a square bracket. Okay, so that is your coordination entity, entire coordination entity. So their formulas are enclosed in parentheses. Okay, when the ligands are polyatomic, like for example NO2 is a polyatomic, C2O4 is a polyatomic, NH3 is again polyatomic. Okay, so in that case we actually write them in small brackets. Whereas if I talk about chloride, I think here is an example. Chloride is not written in parentheses. Okay, so if it is polyatomic, yeah, here is again chloride. So it is not a polyatomic ligand, so it's not required parenthesis. And ligand abbreviations are also enclosed in parentheses. Okay, that is your En, for example. Next set of rules. There should be no space between the ligand and the metal within the coordination sphere. If you see, there is no space. Okay, this is your central metal, and there is no space. No space. Okay, this is your En, short form of En is like En is the short form abbreviation. Otherwise you can say it is ethane 1,2-diamine. Next, no spacing. Then sixth point is, when the formula of the charged coordination entity is to be written without that of counter ion. So counter ion, you can see this is Cl3. Okay, so 3 chloride are required as counter ions. Here you see you require SO4, that is your counter ion. So if your counter ion is not written, what you will do, you will write the charge on the top right side. Okay, like if this is 3 chlorides are removed, you should know that there should be 3 positive charge. Okay, so that will be right superscript. We will write the charge on the entire coordination sphere. Lastly, seventh point, the charge of the cations is balanced by the charge of anions. So all these counter ions, okay, whenever required, they required just to balance the charge of my coordination sphere or coordination entity. So this was about writing the formula. Now what we will look into is writing the name. Okay, so for naming also we have certain rules. Same examples are used. So the cation is named first. Okay, you can see this is your cation part, and this is your anion part. Okay, so cation is always named first. You can see uh, cation is your coordination sphere, so we will try to name the coordination sphere first and then the anion part. Same way here, potassium is my cation, so I will start with potassium, whereas here chloride is my anion, so I will end with chloride. Okay, so just make a note of this. So in both positively and negatively charged coordination entity, so it doesn't matter if your coordination entity is positively charged or negatively charged, you have to start writing the name with cations. Then the ligands are named in alphabetical order, okay, before the name of the central atom slash ion. So central can be neutral, okay, it can be an ion. So in both the cases, we see that ligands are named in alphabetical order, same way how they were written. So if you remember, we were writing them in alphabetical order. For example, if I want to name it, so before writing the central metal atom ion, I will start writing this. Okay, so you see there are 4 amino groups. So tetraamine. Okay, only one water. For water, we do not write H2O or water. We write aqua, AQUA. Then lastly, chloride. So chlorido cobalt. So if you see AM comes before AQ, alphabetical order. Same way, if you see here ZnOH4, yeah, okay, let's look at this example because it contains two types of ligands. So chloride and then ethane. Okay, so it should be dichloro. Okay, so chloro is chlorido, that is how we write it, and then bis because that is 2 ethane 1,2-diamine, and lastly cobalt. Let's continue. Now, the names of the anionic ligands end with O. For example, here chloride is negatively charged, so we write the name as chlorido. Okay, and if it is neutral or cationic ligand, they are the same, except for agua, that is used for water, amine is used for NH3, carbonyl is used for CO, nitrosyl is used for NO. Okay, so these are some of the exception, so just note down these exceptions. Next, prefixes of mono, di, tri, etc., etc. are used to indicate the number of individual ligands. Okay, for example, here I have 2 amino. Okay, so 2 amine groups, so diamine. Then I see this is your oxalato. Oxalato is 3 groups are there. So trioxalato. Okay, that is your mono, di or tri. Mono is sometimes not written also. Like here there is only chloride group. So I did not write monochlorido. Okay, simply chlorido is enough. Then when the names of the ligand include a numerical prefix, okay, then we use bis, tis, tris and tetrakis are used. Okay, the ligands to which they refer being balanced, sorry, being placed in parentheses. For example, you can see en twice. Okay, so this one is, since all the name is written in the parenthesis, so I will write bis. Okay, whereas for the case of this one, since the name of the ligand is not written in parentheses, so I just have to write tri. Okay, so that's the difference. Also here you can see NiCl2 PPH3 twice. So here also I have 2 chlorido. Okay, so 2 chloride chloro, and then PPH3, and that is twice. So if you see, this will be triphenyl phosphine. So triphenyl phosphine, since it is written in parentheses, I will not write di, I will write bis. Okay, next, oxidation state of the central metal in the cation, anion or neutral coordination entity is indicated by a Roman numerical in parentheses. You can see here it is platinum. So platinum's oxidation state, chromate's oxidation state 3, uh, cobalt CO, that is again oxidation state 3, cobalt 3, cobalt 3. Okay, so this parenthesis is your Roman numerical number which indicates your oxidation state of the cation, anion, or neutral coordination entity. Okay, that is your central metal ion. Lastly, if the complex ion is a cation, the metal name is named as an element. Okay, like for example, chromium is here. Okay, so since this is positively charged, it will be written as chromium. Okay, but for the complex ion, if it is anion, then the metal ends with the suffix ate. Okay, like for example, you can see this example explains it very well. You see Ag is there, that is silver. So one entity is positively charged and then the second entity is negatively charged. When the first entity is positively charged, we use diamine silver 1, and when it is negatively charged, it became agentate. Okay, so instead of writing silver, we have wrote argentate. Okay, same way, if I talk about cobalt, cobalt will become cobaltate. If I talk about chromium, it will become chromate. Okay, iron will become ferrate. Okay, here it is, ferrate for iron. So these are the Latin names that we will use. And seventh point, the neutral complex molecule is named similar to that of complex cation. Okay, so if it is entire coordination entity or molecule is neutral, it will be same as cation. That means you will write the name of the element, and that's it. So these are the rules. Okay, please go through it, and I would recommend to solve all these examples, pause the videos and try to answer all these. Okay, one more thing I would like to highlight, we never write how many counter ions are required. Okay, you see here there are two chlorides as a counter ion, so we do not write how many are required, we just write. Okay, here you can see K2 is there, K3 is there, but we don't write how many coordination, like how many counter ions are required. Okay, so potassium is used as your counter ion. So basically the trick here is you should know how much is the charge on this part, and the counter ion will be adjusted accordingly. Okay, for example, if you see here the total charge on the coordination entity, this is actually zincate is at +2, OH is at -1 state, so there are 4 OH minus. Okay, so overall charge here is 2 minus. So in order to balance that 2 minus, I need K2. Okay, that is 2K pluses are required. Okay, same way if I talk about this one here, aluminium is at +3 state. Okay, then I know that C2O4, okay, it has a charge of 2 minus. So total charge on this entire sphere will be -3. Okay, hence I will require counter ion 3K plus, and that's it. Okay, so just practice all this and that will be enough. Thank you.